Hey folks, welcome back to HeartGold vs. Crystal. We are here on Route 44. We are heading eastward toward the Ice Path and eventually towards Blackthorn City, which has the final gym of Johto within. We've taken care of the evil organization plot, and we now can focus completely on the Pokemon League. Now, Route 44, pretty unremarkable. It's a lead up to Ice Path, which is significantly more interesting, but this is basically a collection of trainers with nothing really interesting geographically. I am showing, however, this fight because certain things are occurring that are important in Efrit's way of life. As you can see, close to level 29 there, and 29 is a very special level because... there we go, learning the move Bite. Bite will be nice because it's a dark type move. It's not something I've had. It's a good way to take care of ghost types. It is physical, so it complements Everett to a certain extent. And it's something besides return, because Iron Tail, very situational. Oh yeah, and this is happening. Almost forgot about this. Yeah, there's been speculation about what exactly Everett is going to evolve into. Well, mystery solved. Everett has evolved into an Umbreon. Now, there's going to be a lot of backlash from the fans because I pronounce it as Umbreon. I deal with it, basically. By the way, I'm learning Confuse Ray. Deal with it. Technically, the correct pronunciation is Umbreon. That's how it's pronounced in the anime, how it's pronounced in Pokemon Battle Revolution, and I assume Pokemon Stadium 2. And it's how people who have studied linguistics and a majority of the source languages for Pokemon names would pronounce it based on historical precedent. On the other hand, I both don't care and now have an excellent opportunity to bug the hell out of any linguists in the crowd. So Umbreon it is. But yes, Umbreon is basically a kind of a bulky tank of sorts. Can't dish out a ton of damage, but can take hits very, very nicely. And in combination with Confuse Ray, should be very good at outlasting opponents. That might not be the most thrilling thing in the world to watch, but it will be very, very useful in upcoming difficult battles, which do exist, despite my lack of satisfaction with the Team Rocket executives. Difficult battles are in our future. Anyway, I'm showing this battle against a Rhyhorn purely because Rhyhorn are really cool, and I like Rhyhorn, and just showing that Frida is still relevant in this day and age. I know it took a while. My deepest apologies for that brief excursion. And we're almost done with Earth's route. We have, what, one Fisher left, who is now taken care of, and maybe one other trainer? Really, not a whole lot of note on this route. There is an island in the middle of that lake there, or that pond, that will give you an item that I don't remember, but overall it's nothing to write home about. We are, however, approaching Ice Path there, which is an actual cave/dungeon with actual interesting things happening within. It's probably one of the better locations in the game. So let's head right in. Ice Path, which I will probably erroneously call Ice Cave on numerous occasions, because that's just how I roll, but it's Ice Path. And as you can see, it is all icy, and there are, in fact, ice sliding puzzles, much like in Price's gym. Now, let me just get this factoid out of the way. Also, photos. I love photos. Let me get this factoid out of the way. I am really, really bad at ice sliding puzzles. Pretty bad. Like, not good at them at all. And generally, if I take some time to look at it and kind of trace my way backwards, I can figure it out. But especially with this puzzle, because you can't see the whole floor on the screen at once, I have difficulty. And from what I understand, this is kind of a notoriously difficult ice path, ice sliding puzzle. At least that's my understanding, and I'm gonna go with it. I do remember as a kid, I had a lot of trouble with this puzzle, and I just have never really learned it. I never memorized it. I think it's the same pattern, but it's just not something that I ever committed to memory. I don't got it memorized. This one's significantly easier, and it gives us HM07 Waterfall. Now, Waterfall is actually a lot more useful in HeartGold than it is in Crystal, because in HeartGold, Waterfall is a physical water-type move. So if you have a water-type Pokemon that relies primarily on the physical attack stat, it is great and perfect and wonderful, provided that physical water-type Pokemon can learn Waterfall. Klaus cannot. It stinks. It really does. I still have to wait for Crabhammer to get a physical water move on Klaus. Now, we have one big ice sliding puzzle here, but it is not as simple as it appears, because we need to push some boulders into holes. This is a puzzle that originated, I believe, in the Seafoam Islands in the original game. It was also used in Victory Road. And basically what would happen is that you would find crafty ways to maneuver a boulder throughout the rock formations in the cave. In this case, it's ice formations, to make sure that they don't get caught in corners, and you can properly push the boulders into the holes, and that will allow you to traverse the bottom floor more efficiently, or at all, really. So that's what's going on here. And they decided to make you do it 4 times. None of them are particularly difficult, but if you aren't looking ahead and you aren't planning, they actually can screw you up, and then you would have to leave the room and come back. The nice thing about these ice puzzles is that if you screw up one, you can leave and come back, and the ones that you've done successfully will stay successfully solved. So it's not horribly unforgiving in that regard. It's not a huge time waster in that regard. Again, a little bit of planning, and you'll get this around. And you do actually have to, like, maneuver yourself as well as the boulder. I like these kind of puzzles. I mean, they are block-pushing puzzles, which I know most Zelda players are kind of sick of by now, but I don't know, it works, I like it, and it's not too time-consuming, unlike a lot of block-pushing puzzles in the world. But anyway, now that the boulders are down here, we can do cool and fashionable things, like, hopefully, get through. I told you I was bad at ice sliding puzzles. Like, really bad. I have solved the puzzle when it still takes me a few times to get it right. I know all of you just, like, cringed that when I had it so close a few seconds ago and it just didn't happen. There we go. Very simple. Just move in a clockwise direction, and you'll get through just fine. Anyway, move on further down. Now, this is something that I am just bamboozled by. As you can see, there's a rock smash boulder that you can smash to get to this item in slightly fewer steps. Maybe if you're short on repels, but just seems like the most unnecessary blockade I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of unnecessary blockades in my time. Anyway, moving along here, a lot of the ice puzzles from here on out are less making it difficult to proceed, and more you have to think in order to get the extra optional items that are hidden around. So like this guy, TM72 Avalanche, which I had hoped would be useful. It is a what is the fighting type equivalent to this? It's a move that always goes second, and will deal double damage if the user took a hit from the opponent. And I know there's a fighting type equivalent, but for the life of me, I can't think of what it is. But I'd hoped it would be useful, because the upcoming gym is weak against ice, but nobody can learn it. Anyway, here's a mixing of two worlds. You need to push this boulder into the proper position in order to block yourself properly and get to that wonderful special item. It's an iron. I don't know, it's a nice combination of puzzles, however simple it might be. It's an elegant solution. And now we're back on the top floor. You can see there are a lot of vitamins around here. And hello, it's another Kimono Girl. I believe this is the final Kimono Girl of the 5. Oh, and I didn't go for the item. I had the chance to get the item. Oh. So yeah, one last ice puzzle, but was not in Crystal. Basically, you need to approach her from the back, which I know just gives all sorts of horrible images to many of you, in order to dislodge her from the ice. And you have to actually push her using a button interaction rather than sliding back and forth and just whamming into her, which would have been a lot more satisfying. Anyway, the final puzzle is to figure out how to get that item, and of course, I've already, player me has already forgotten how to solve this puzzle, so that's wonderful. There we go. I also have horrible short-term memory, as many dedicated viewers may know, so I hope this little dungeon wasn't absolutely just brain melting for all of you, because that would be unfortunate, and if it was, you don't know me very well, I don't think. Anyway, while I'm fumbling around trying to figure out this puzzle, there it is. See, that was simple. And now we are out toward Blackthorn City. It's a crazy place. And we will explore the various places of interest in Blackthorn in the next episode, so I will see you guys next time.